Well, good morning. I'm cooking breakfast on day 5, and here's what my breakfast camp looks like. A little bit messy, but got most everything out of the tent. Pack's ready to get packed up after I eat breakfast. That's my food bag. The one mystery I've got is somehow last night while I was sleeping, I've misplaced a sock. So I've got one sock too few. I'll just get a new pair out, but I think it's just kind of unusual. I know it will show up eventually. Anyway, water's not boiled yet, but we have a little bit of Kodiak oatmeal. This is pretty good stuff. It sticks to your ribs and tastes good too. So have that, and then I'll have some tea and finish packing up and be on the trail. Now I'll catch sorry for twisting around so fast. I'll catch you up later when I do that, when I get on the trail. So I'm finally leaving the campsite at about about 9 o'clock. So it was a nice lazy morning, and there's what's left of the campsite. Nice spot in there. Anyway, I'm going to head on down trail, see if I can make it to Mount Laguna, but if I don't, I've got enough food as long as I can find some more water, which I think I can. So right now my legs are feeling good, but I'm going to take it real slow right away from the start. I'll keep you updated. Hey, just thought I'd look back at where I was. Well, it's hard to see in this camera, but I camped right over in that area, and the trail comes up right over there. It comes across by where I camped, and then you might be able to see it. Let's see, I'm not even pointing at it right now. It's right down about there, and then zigzags back up. Anyway, I see lots of hikers on the trail today, and I better be one of them instead of just a trail stander. So here we go. You're on camera.
Run! Adrian, please hit my bike. Hairspray bidet!
See you down the trail.
See ya!
Found a nice spot to do a little filtering of water. That's how you should do. You get it out of a stream and put it into a into a bottle. It goes right through this filter. From this is dirty water, goes through the filter. It's got microfilaments, and then it comes right into this little bottle. Got to keep this part a little loose, otherwise the airflow keeps the water from going in. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's about noon on my 5th day. I've done this a few times now, and water always comes out tasting good. Well, day 5's been nice so far. I'm just stopped here by this little creek. I just finished filtering water, as you saw in the previous segment of the video, and a couple of nice little tent sites here. Well, kind of nice. They're not too flat, but they'd work in a pinch. But the nice thing is that you're right next to the water. You can see just past my pack there. So far today's been doing great. I've met a few new people. Mary Ann was here, who I met on the first day, but she started the next day. And then it's Marion, who from Germany, that I met and hiked with for a little while. It was really nice to talk with her. She gave me some updates, and I know that my trail family, if that's what they are, Brenda and Hotspot, and I want to say Chris. Wait, Chris is Hotspot. Anyway, the 3 of them are behind me and still on the trail, so that's good news. Anyway, I'll just keep plugging along. Just been in these canyons so far, mostly, or up on top, but not. My muscles are doing pretty good, a lot better than yesterday, so that's a good thing. Anyway, I'll update you next time I have a chance. Heading up the trail. There's Shrek and his 2 boys. And hey, look, not only is the weather changing, but so is the vegetation. There's pine trees coming up. Woohoo! Looking forward to that. Feel more like home. Well, guess what? The weather's changed, and so has the terrain, the vegetation. Check it out. I'm in looks like ponderosa pine or something, pine forest right now. This reminds me of very around Colville, where I grew up. And you know, who would have thought, at least I sure didn't think, that the first time I'd need to put on my raincoat was in the desert. But hey, here we are. So it's just, it's more of a mist at the moment, but I might go ahead and find a spot in Mount Laguna rather than tenting out. It's supposed to rain for the next couple days, and so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll get on the trail and get going again. This is what the trail looks like on the way into Mount Laguna. Oh my gosh, what a difference from the desert. There's some interesting trees here too. I don't know what they are. They don't look like a cedar, but not a western red, that's for sure. And there's some good sized pine cones. If you look at one compared to my foot, that's pretty big. Well, here's a junction. 1, 2, 3, 4 trails come together. There's a sign there, and but I know I need to take a shortcut into town. I'll look on my app and find out where that's at, but it's always fun to come up to something like this. Usually you just follow the Pacific Crest Trail signs, but I know I do have to make a change somewhere, so we'll find out what it is. And it's starting to rain again. Oh well. Coming into Mount Laguna. It's wet and windy and cold. And this sign ahead says Tiny House Block, French American Pine House Cafe and Tavern. I'm staying in one of the I've booked a hostel or not hostel, hostel bed, so that's where I'll be a little bit more later. I'm looking for food and warmth. Okay, here's the Tiny House Block, and someplace is the hostel, and I'm supposed to walk through the tiny houses. These rent for I think $175 for the private tiny houses. But what I've got in the hostel is $50, so it still feels like a couple pennies for sure, but definitely a better deal than renting one of the tiny houses for the night, although they look pretty cozy. Don't they? This is kind of a neat idea how they're doing this. I like it. Anyway, well, I better get off here because I can see the office is right up here, kind of a big bluish sort of building right there, and that's where I'm going to go in and find out where my room is. Till later. Home for the night. I thought I'd start here since no one's using it. This is the bathroom, and there's a shower there. I'm definitely taking advantage of that. Coffee, little kitchenette, and then room for 4 in here, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure what this room is here. Oh, it's locked. So anyway, I'm going to take this bunk right here, and I think it's James, I believe, is going to take the one just above me. So it'll be kind of like college days. It's been a couple years since I've done this. It'll be good. Well, here's the day 5 recap. I'm doing it on day 6, but I started out from my campsite, and yeah, feeling better and all that, and was hiking along in nice weather, but it was a little cooler than before. Had a few people pass me, but was walking along and met up with some folks I'd seen along the trail at their lunch spots, and then I hiked with I believe it was Melanie, who I met from from Germany, and hiked with her for a little bit. Also hiked with Shrek and his boys again, and Bruno. Got about halfway, crossed a spot for my own kind of short, abbreviated lunch for about I don't know, half an hour or so. Hello.
The offices checking the tiny house?
Anyway, I had my, I was answering a question for another hiker. Had my lunch there, and after the lunch started climbing uphill, and it was getting windier and colder, and I could see the clouds coming in, and I was getting closer to the forest and things, but eventually it turned into kind of a rainy day, and I thought to myself, it's going to be kind of a miserable night if it rains all night. And I was debating back and forth, should I or should I not, when I get into Mount Laguna, go ahead and book a site at the hostel or not. And so I finally, after consultation with home, I decided to go ahead and splurge and book a bed in the hostel before they were all taken up. And boy, am I glad that I did. Look what it's been doing all night long. You can see it's just, well, maybe you can see, it's just coming down. Here it is coming out of the downspout right here. I'm just sitting in the porch of the hostel where I'm at, and this is turning into a 0 day for me, and that's okay. In fact, some of the people that I know that stayed on the trail and camped, they hitchhiked back to get a room because it's pretty nasty weather. I'm hoping to take off tomorrow and get on the trail again, but I've also heard there's prediction for snow tomorrow night up to 3 inches. I'm hoping I can get far enough away from here, maybe a lower elevation, to avoid that. But you never know. That's part of the PCT adventure. Anyway, I am taking a 0 here today for day 6. And I'm about ready to go and get some resupply. I'm debating how much to get because it's 68 miles to Warner Springs, where I was planning on getting a resupply. But I also plan to go into Julian from Scissors Crossing, and that's like half the distance. And I could get some resupply there, so maybe I'll split the difference and get a little bit of both, as long as it's not too much weight. Anyway, I better get to the store. It's like noon right now, and I've got a lot to do yet. So, talk with you later. Woo! Glad I'm not hiking today. This is just me walking to the store right now. It's wet and rainy and windy and cold. Yep, another adventure. So here I am in the Tiny House Block Hostel. And here's my housemates.
Hi, I'm Jack. I just rolled in today. Everybody's super cool.
Hey.
Hey, I'm Patch.
Oh. Go
Hi.
ahead. Hey.
Hi, I'm Kun.
All right, thanks. And we're all staying here tonight and staying dry. Well, I'm finally leaving the Tiny House Block, and there's the place where I spent a few pennies eating some meals, and here is the hostel room that I was staying in. Was right on the other side of that window there. So I got to get going after staying 2 nights here, but it's cold and it's supposed to even snow tonight. So if I can get down the trail a little ways, I'll be in good shape and be able to hopefully find a sheltered spot across the road here that will be a great spot for hunkering down if I need to. But at least I'll be a little farther down the trail. Anyway, I'll update you as things keep going here. Got my beanie on. Okay. So another day at the hostel because of the snow outside, and I've got some new folks that, at least new to me, folks that stayed the night, so they wanted to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is JC, and I'm from Canada.
From Quebec.
Quebec, actually, yeah.
Hockey fan.
A hockey fan, yeah. We were watching the game last night in the hostel here, and now we're getting ready to hike up to Julian in this amazing snow.
You guys are amazing.
Hey, my name is Anita. I'm from Czech Republic, and I'm not really excited about the snow, but yeah, I think we've got this. So yeah.
You do. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
it
At
will.
least looking back on it in history.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Here we are in the
We might
lobby
not
of the
leave.
Tiny House.
But you may want to.
Tiny House Cafe.
I'm just doing a video.
Hey, Russ.
Good breakfast.
Arch family, what was that?
Good breakfast.
Oh, it's delicious. I love the food here. I think I've had everything on the menu.
Yeah. And the beers.
And the beers. Love the beers. We earned it. We
did.
Well, it seems like the snow is almost melting off as fast as it's coming.
Although, look at that slush right there. Yuck. I don't want to climb through this all day or walk through this all day long. The wind's still blowing, and it's still pretty chilly out here. This morning the plows were going by, I think 4 times, and anyway, I'm going to be staying one more night here. I'm just going to try my hardest to get away, but we will see.
Well, since I'm stuck here in the hostel and got some time, let's take a quick recap of what's happened so far on the trail rather than in the hostel. Got my map out, and let's see if this works. So on the first day, started right here at the border, and actually I had flown in and gone to a little campground at Cleef right about there, but went up to the border, came back, followed the trail along through Campo, came along here, kind of flip-flopped with some people here and there, and made it to a campsite right there. Now it's about mile 8 or so, and let me turn this around to see if that points better. There's a little dot there I put on there. Just before that, there was a stream crossing where I got some water, and I met some other folks there, and was hiking along with them, and they stopped and had dinner right around there, and I kept going and said, well, because they were worried about a campsite, I said, well, if I see one, I'll let you know. And sure enough, I found a spot that was just enough room for their 3 tents and my tent. So camped there that night, and they turned into my kind of, at least early on, trail family. I didn't realize it, but we've gotten along really well, and have been hiking together, or at least doing some leapfrogging every all along the trail so far. Anyway, the next day got up and hiked along through here. You've seen lots of pictures of the different things, hopefully by now. Gone through a few gates, and I think I even took a picture of that particular gate, or that one, or maybe both. And kept hiking along here. And here's Hauser Creek. It was a long ways up, and then it was a long ways down, even longer, and there's a little section of road there. I was exhausted by this point, anyway, got down here, this is in the morning, down to Hauser Creek, and was able to have lunch there, a nice long lunch. Put my feet up, and got resupplied with water and everything. About 3 o'clock or so, then started up the big hill. Here, let me turn the page to the next section of map so that we don't run out. Let's see. Here we go. There is Hauser Creek again. So there are some campsites there, but it was way early in the day, at least I felt. And so even though it was hot, 3 o'clock started this long climb, and believe me, it was long and hot. Got up to the top of the climb, which I think is about in here, and then took a break, looked up and saw some vultures circling overhead. I thought, Anyway, I decided to get going. The trail family was Brenda, who is not sure but thinking about keeping a trail name of Gazelle, and Christine, whose nickname became Hotspots, and then Sherry, whose nickname, whose trail name is Raven. it followed, and they hadn't caught up yet, but I felt I had to get going, so kept going. And we had all talked about maybe meeting up at Lake Marina, so followed along. It was starting to get kind of late about here, but it was a good trail coming down, and made it to right through this way to the Lake Marina campground. And I got a little lost back in there because the signage wasn't as what I thought, but anyway, eventually got there. But before we're getting there, they said, Russ, we should go to the malt shop and get a burger or something, and then go back and make camp. So that's what we did, because they had caught up to me by this time. And so ended up setting up my tent in the dark. The next day, went to the malt shop again, had some breakfast, but also charged my devices. And while I was waiting for them to charge, I met Rambler, who I kind of have been doing a little bit of hopscotch with as well, or leapfrogging, and he was charging his stuff there too. Anyway, I didn't get out of there till almost noon. It turns out that Brenda had hurt her knee, and so they decided to stay an extra night. So I kept going, and I followed along the trail here. Beautiful stuff, nice and flat right there. And I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. But then it started going up and up and up. Oops. So then we kept going up and up and up, and then down and down and down. And I ended up camping at Boulder Oaks, which is a little campground. That was great. I met Lothar there, and also Tammy, I think is her name. Tammy was the campground host, and they both gave a lot of information. Oh, and while I was there, he's camping also with Shrek, his two boys, and their dog Bruno. So that was kind of fun to meet up with them and chatted a little bit. Anyway, the next morning got up and got going. Man, was I feeling good. My legs were great, and got zooming along. And then right about here, my right calf started having a spasm, kind of like a Charlie horse, which decided to happen the rest of the day. So as I'm going up and up and up and up, I'm having to fight that and going pretty slow, but still making progress, which was a good thing. And then my food I had the day before evidently didn't go well with my stomach, because I ended up having to dig a lot of cat holes along the way, but that's another story that we don't have to talk about. Anyway, I climbed up here and kept going along someplace. Oh, back in here, I'm sorry. Kitchen Creek. There was a nice little spot here, overlook of the falls, and nice little pools. I stopped and had a nice lunch break there with Shrek and his boys and Bruno. I believe it was in this area somewhere. And then just kept going along the trail. Later on, kept following on. Let me turn the page again. Get to the next spot. Let's see, where are we at here? There's Yellow Spring. Kept going along here. Somewhere in here is probably in here somewhere. It might have been back here. Anyway, there was another spot where people were stopped for lunch and things like that. But I kept going, went across this road, did not go down to Civets Flat, but even though I was tired and it was hot, it's still going uphill, I decided to do it and push on and see if I can get to the next campsite. So it was quite a climb to get up here, but then it wasn't too bad along this route. And I kept going, saw this one campsite, but all it was a flat spot right basically on the side of the trail. So I decided to keep going even though I was tired. And I made it to, it shows here, but I think it was really this spot here, to this campsite. And, well, no, it was this spot. And it turned out to be a great little spot. I was nestled in the bushes and under a tree and things, camped there. Next day, got up, felt a lot better stomach-wise, and my legs felt a little bit better. And so then it was time to get going in all the way into Mount Laguna. So meandered along. Somewhere in here, I believe, is where the actually maybe it was in, anyway, the trees started in, which was really nice. Followed that along, but then it started raining and raining, and so by the time I got to Mount Laguna and got lost a little bit in the campground, I finally got here to where the pine House restaurant is, as well as the hostel, and booked a room there. And so I've been stuck here between rainstorms, high winds, snow, freezing weather, and I haven't been able to get out of here. I'm staying one more night, and hopefully I'll be on the trail again. I tried yesterday to go on the trail. I went down about 2 miles and turned around because it was just too bad. I would have had hypothermia and such. So anyway, that's a little recap using the map to show you where I've been so far. Talk with you later.